Dear students, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are you? I hope best for you. I Mukesh Kumar welcomes you to online Mukesh Online Academy. आपका मुकेश ऑनलाइन अकेडमी में स्वागत है. And we are doing the chapter 12 electricity from the NCERT book of CBSE board. Okay, this book may be studied into different boards also. Okay, so that is the chapter of physics. We have already covered some of the parts into 4 videos. I hope you must have seen that. In the first video we had covered about the introduction of electricity, and in the second video we had covered about the electric current and what are the, how can we measure the electric current, different aspects of the electric current. In the third one we discussed about the potential difference and about the voltmeter and about different things about the potential differences. And in the fourth video we covered about the electric circuits and the different symbols that we use in the electric circuits and how to draw a circuit diagram. I hope you must have enjoyed them. If you haven't seen them till now, I have given the links into the description box. Okay, and you can go through them and watch them. It will help you to understand this video and the further better. Okay, so one tip for the best preparation that I usually give into my every video, that whenever you are watching any video, study related video, or whenever you are doing any study related activity, keep a notebook and pen with you. Whenever you find some key points, whenever you find some important points like formulas, note them into the notebook. So, okay, so this way you will prepare a summary. So it will help you to revise in exams, during the exams very quickly. Otherwise it becomes too much to revise into the exams. And there is one more thing. When you write, you get more. Okay, just reading is not necessary. Writing is also necessary, because in exams you will get the answer by writing the answer. So it prepares you for the exams, the writing habit. Okay, so now if you have any doubt, if you have any query, if you want to ask anything, you can give into the comment box, and you can write to me on the mail, or you can write to me on the WhatsApp also, or on the Telegram also. We are on the Telegram also. Now I have given the link of the Telegram, how to connect with me on the Telegram in the description. So you can connect with me on the Telegram, so you will get the instant updates. Okay, and if you want to have the free notes of each and every chapter, then also you can write to me on either Telegram or WhatsApp or mail. And if you want to get the live online classes, okay, so we provide the live online classes also. So then you can also write to me. We will be happy to serve you. Okay, so and if you like the video, then share it with your friend, subscribe to it. Okay, now in this video we will cover about the Ohm's law. Okay, and different aspects of the Ohm's law that we will cover. So now let's start. Dear students, let's start. Okay, so we are going to study in this video about the Ohm's law. See, this law was given by the German physicist George Simon Ohm. Okay, so he gave this relationship between the potential difference and the electric current flowing through the wire. Okay, the Ohm's law was given by the German physicist George Simon Ohm, and he gave the relationship between the potential difference across the potential difference, means potential difference across the conductor, and what is the current flowing through it. He gave this relationship through a mathematical formula, and he gave the relationship between them. So what is this relationship? Basically, at constant temperature, so we have to keep the temperature constant, the potential difference V across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through the wire. The electric current I flowing through a wire. Okay, so this is the relationship between the potential difference and current I, which was given by the George Simon Ohm, that at constant temperature, we are keeping the temperature constant. Okay, why do we keep the temperature constant? So that this ratio does not change. More we will study later. So whatever is the potential difference across the ends of the wire, that is directly proportional, okay, with the current I. What is the meaning of the direct proportion? that if the V will increase, then I will increase also in the same ratio. That direct proportion we have studied into the 8th standard in the mathematics. Okay, so this potential difference, if we double the potential difference, the current will also become double. If make the potential difference half, then current will also become half. Clear? So now how this mathematical relationship can be given, that V is directly proportional to I at constant temperature. Okay, so now we have to remove this proportionality constant. So to remove this proportionality constant, we will put R I, or we can write that V upon I equals to R. Clear? Now what is the R here? So it is the proportionality constant. R is proportionality constant here. Okay, so this is also known as the resistance of the wire. See, in any case, the ratio of the V upon I will remain constant. Okay, and this constant will be known as the resistance of the conductor or wire. Okay, so this is the mathematical expression of the Ohm's law. So this is, so V equal to IR is the mathematical expression. So this we will use into the doing the calculations or in doing the numericals. Okay, now so this R will be fixed at a given temperature. Okay, but there are certain conditions which we need to follow, that we will study into the next videos, that the factors on which the value of this R depends, that we will study into the next videos. Okay, so now how can we draw the circuit diagram to show the Ohm's law? So now we will study the circuit diagram to show Ohm's law. Okay, now see, we have to use a conductor. A simple diagram we will use here. See, this is the resistance. Okay, here we have used the ammeter, and this is connected to the cell or battery. Okay, we can use battery also, and this is connected to the key, and they are connected here. Okay, and now we will connect the voltmeter also here. Voltmeter we will connect at the across of the conductor. So this is the voltmeter. This positive terminal of the battery will be connected to the this, so this become positive, and this negative terminal of battery will be connected to this, so this becomes negative. Okay, same here, this is positive and this is negative, and this is the resistor. Okay, so we call it R. This is the key or switch. This is the cell, or we can say let's take battery also. Okay, and this is our ammeter, and this is the voltmeter. Okay, now the current will be flowing when we close the key, so it will be from positive to negative terminal of the battery. So this is how we can make the diagram to show the Ohm's law. The question comes into the exam, draw the circuit diagram to show the Ohm's law. Clear? Now we have learned about the Ohm's law. So the Ohm's law, what does the Ohm's law says? That V equal to IR. Okay, so from here we can get to two things, that I equals to V upon R. Okay, see, from here we can reduce the two relationships. So the first relationship is, if we keep the R constant. Okay, now if R is constant means same wire, no change in the wire, then I will be proportional to the V. What does it mean? That potential difference and current. Okay, if we make the potential difference double, then current will also become double. If we make potential difference half, then also the current will become half. It means whatever change we do in the potential difference, the same ratio, the current will also be changed. Okay, and here we are keeping the R constant. Clear? See, the second relationship that we can deduce from here, number 2, if V is constant. V is constant means same cell or battery. We have not changed any battery or we have not changed any potential difference. Okay, so in this case the I will be directly proportional to the 1 upon R, or you can say inversely proportional to R or resistance. So in this case the current is inversely proportional to the resistance. So what is the meaning of it? Let's say resistance and current. Okay, now if we make the resistance double, then current will become half. It is because it is the inverse proportion. That means, what is the inverse proportion means? If we increase the one quantity, then other quantity will be decreased in the same ratio. So that means if we are making the resistance double, then the current will become half. Okay, or if we make the resistance half, then the current will become double. Same way, if we make the resistance triple, then current will become 1/3. If we make the resistance 1/3, then the current will become 3 times. So this is the relationship that will be going here. Okay, and here we have called the V constant, the potential difference constant, we have kept here. Okay, so it means we can come to the conclusion that the current flowing through the conductor depends on two factors. One is the potential difference and second is the resistance. So the strength of current flowing through a conductor depends on, number 1, the potential difference supplied, or you can say potential difference across the terminals or ends of the conductor, and the second factor is the resistance of the conductor. Okay, so these are the two factors, means the first factor is the potential difference and the second factor is the resistance of the conductor. On these two factors the strength of the current flowing is dependent. Okay, if any of the factor changes by keeping the one constant, that it will change according to the formulas that I have given above. Okay, now see, here we have seen that if resistance changes, the current is changing. Will the reverse will also be true? That means if we change the current, then the resistance also changes? No. So let's see the thing. There is one question comes into the exam. So the question is, what will happen to the resistance of the circuit if the current through it is doubled? See, if we change the current, then the resistance, there will be no change in the resistance, because initially what we have learned about the Ohm's formula, that the resistance of a wire remains constant under the given conditions. Okay, so if we change the current, if we have kept the same wire, if we have not changed the conductor, that means by changing the current, the potential difference will change, not the resistance will change. Okay, so the answer is R will remain same. Reason, R is an, means resistance is an inherent property of a conductor. So we will double so that the ratio V upon I, that is the R, remains constant. Okay, but condition, provided the factors which affect R does not change. Okay, so let's repeat it. So the R, basically the resistance is a characteristic, the inherent property of a conductor. Okay, so if we make the current double, then V will be doubled, so that V ratio V upon I remains constant. But there is one condition, the factors that are affecting the resistance, they should not change. What are these factors? That we will study into the next video. Okay, now comes the resistance. Now we will define the resistance of a conductor. Okay, so resistance of a conductor. So how can we define it? The property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it. Okay, that means whatever charges are flowing, it provides the resistance, it provides the hindrance to that flow of the charge, that is called the resistance. So there are two definitions. First is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges, that this way we can also write, or the property of a conductor due to which it opposes, means doesn't allow the flow of current through it, is also called the resistance. So anyway we can write the resistance of the conductor. Okay, now the SI unit of a resistance, see, we have the formula B equal to IR. It means that R equals to V upon I. Okay, so the SI unit of B is volt and SI unit of I is ampere, that we have studied. So that means SI unit of resistance is volt per ampere. So this is the SI unit of resistance. Okay, or it can be written like this also, volt ampere is to power minus 1. Okay, you can get sometime this question into the exam. Name the quantity which has the following SI unit, volt per ampere or volt ampere is to power minus 1. Then you have to write the resistance. But most of time we will not get this type of the SI unit. So this is also known as ohm, after the name of the scientist, or we can write it like it. Okay, after the name George Simon Ohm, this SI unit has been given the ohm. And how do we represent it? By letter omega. Represented by letter omega. This way. This is called the omega. This is a Greek letter. Okay, this is a Greek letter omega. Okay, now we will do the definition of 1 ohm. This comes into the exam. Normally the question comes into the exam. Write the SI unit of resistance and define it. Okay, so how do we define the SI unit of? So normally the question comes into the exam. Define the SI unit of resistance or define 1 ohm. So what is the 1 ohm here? See, we have R equals to V upon I. That means 1 ohm equals to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Okay, so that means how can we define it? That if the potential difference through the ends of the conductor is 1 volt and the current flowing through it is 1 ampere, then the resistance of the wire is said to be 1 ohm. If the potential difference across the ends of a conductor is 1 volt and current flowing through it is 1 ampere. Okay, then resistance of wire or resistance of conductor is said to be 1 ohm. Okay, or we can write 1 ohm. Clear? So this is the definition of 1 ohm. Now comes the reason behind the resistance. So what is the reason behind the resistance? Actually, see, this is the wire. Let's say this wire is connected to the battery. So that means the electrons are flowing inside this wire. Now, within this wire, actually they are not very free. Actually, these electrons are colliding among themselves also, and they are colliding with the atoms and ions of this metal also. Okay, so whatever is present. So they are colliding, so they hit themselves also. So that means in that process, their flow becomes slow. That means there is an obstruction. It is just like the friction that we see in the mechanics. So there is an obstruction to the flow of the current. Let's take an analogy. Okay, let's understand it by a thing. Suppose in your room that is completely empty, nothing is there. So that means you can move freely. Now you put some things there, like you put the bed there, like you put some chair there. Then then the obstruction becomes little less. Now you bring some 2-3 kids, and they are moving here and there. They are colliding with themselves. So is it easy to move? No, it will not be easy to move, and that means that resistance is being provided. So more is the collision. Suppose if you get the more kids, then it will be difficult. If you get even more kids, then it will become even more difficult. So the less is the number of collisions, less is the resistance. More is the number of collisions, more will be the resistance. Okay, so it is because of the collisions among themselves and with the other atoms So the electrons are not able to flow completely free. So this is how they represent the resistance. Okay. Now, how do we define the Ohm's law? Graphically. Graphical representation of Ohm's law. See, how to make the graph basically? So we will have the values of V and values of I. From this we can make the graph, values of V and values of I. Okay. So we can draw it into the two different ways. Okay. The first way, see here on x-axis we can take I, and on the y-axis we can take V, and the graph will be a straight line. Okay. Now there is another way also to draw the graph. On x-axis we can take the V, and on y-axis we can take the I. Even then this graph will be a straight line because V is proportional to I. So in both cases the graph should be a straight line. So the graph is a straight line inclined to x-axis. So whatever is there on the x-axis we can take both the values on the either on x-axis or y-axis. But in this case, see, this is the slope of the graph. Slope of the graph, as we already know, we have done the 9. So to find the slope of the graph, we will take this value and we will take this value. So the slope of the graph here will be equals to resistance. Okay, because we will get the value V upon I here. Now in this case, slope of the graph will be 1 upon resistance, because here we will have the I value here and V value here, because this is I upon V. So here the directly slope will give the resistance, here it will give the inverse of the resistance. Okay. So let's take an example. Suppose V is given here, I is given here, and this is the 2 wire. This is the resistance of the first wire and this is the resistance of the second wire. Okay. So here the slope of R1 is more than slope of R2, because this is more steep, this is less steep. Okay. So that means the resistance R1 is more than R2. But if the graph is like this, here we have the I, here we have the V, R1, R2. Now again the slope of the R1 is more than slope of the R2. Okay. So then in this case R1 will be less than R2, because here the inverse of the slope. So it will depend which way the I and V have been written. Whenever we are doing these type of questions, then we have to check whether the V is written on the x-axis or on the y-axis. If the V is on the x-axis, then more slope will be the more resistance, less slope will be the less resistance. If it is given on the y-axis, if the V is given on the x-axis, I on the y-axis, then less slope will be the more resistance and more slope will be the less resistance. Okay. So there is one more thing that we will do here is the ohmic conductors. See, the ohmic conductors are those conductors, those who follow the Ohm's law. That means the graph for V and I is a straight line unless we change the conditions. Okay. See, here this graph may not be the straight line if we change the conditions. So it becomes a Ohm's to verify the Ohm's law or to conform it to the Ohm's law, means the ohmic conductor, the line should be straight. Okay. So this is called the ohmic conductor, means conductors which obey Ohm's law. Okay. That means V proportional to I are called ohmic conductors. So what is the best example is the silver here, because silver completely follows the Ohm's law. Clear? And the graph will be the same as we have given above. So students, today we have done about the Ohm's law. What is the resistance? What is the reason behind the resistance? The SI unit of resistance. We have defined the SI unit of resistance. We have done the graphical representation, and we have done the various relationships how the current can be changed into the wire. Okay. And we have done about the ohmic conductors and the graphical representation. Okay. So dear students, in the next video we will do about the experiments to verify the Ohm's law. That is the activity that has been given into the NCERT book, that we will understand how can we verify this Ohm's law. And second, we will do the numericals which is related to the formula V equal to IR, that these questions comes into the exam. So thank you so much for watching, students. Write your comments about the video, any query, any doubt about the topic in the comment box, or you can write to me directly on the WhatsApp or on the mail also. That has I've been given into the description box. Okay, and now we are on the Telegram also. Okay, so for that also we have given into the description box. Now you can directly connect on the Telegram. So whatever updates are there, that you can get directly. Okay, so if you want to get the free notes, okay, for all the chapters, then also you can directly write to me. Okay, so we will provide you the notes of all the chapters which are coming to the exams. Okay, if you want to get the online classes, live online classes, then you can also contact me through mail or WhatsApp. Then we will be happy to serve you. And if you, I hope you have liked the video. If you have liked the video, then share it with your friends and subscribe to it. Thank you so much.